Friends, thank you for watching my channel. I just want to remind you, if you need wallpaper, go to www.wallpaperboulevard.com. Tell them Spencer sent you. In fact, if you use my hashtag, Spencer Colgan is wallpaper, they'll be sure to give you 10% off at your checkout. No matter how much you order, they have a wide selection of wallpaper. Check it out. Tell them I said hello and enjoy your discount. Friends, this wallpaper is a non-woven residential wallpaper from Designer Wallpapers. I'm just putting the information out there just in case you folks want to purchase this for your home or business. Please enjoy the video, and please don't forget to click on like if you like it, and why don't you subscribe to my channel. So, nothing's behind this except for space. Okay, so you know that going around windows, especially windows, or any other penetration like a doorway, sometimes yields what we call a torque wrinkle. Torque. Now, you can work this out, but you can also work it out so much so that you embed the wrinkle permanently into the surface. You see what I mean? I'm going to show you a different way. If you work out the wrinkle diagonally from this corner down, you will get rid of that. Obviously, if you keep going in this direction or that direction, you're just going to make the wrinkle appear elsewhere. But if you work diagonally from the point of the wrinkle, you will get rid of it. It happens often enough. And what happens with a lot of installers, because I take a lot of wallpaper down, they just leave the wrinkle there. I see it all the time. Especially for some reason in bathrooms. There's a lot of corners in bathrooms, a lot of cuts. One of the ways to reduce the friction, so you're not removing the color or the surface, is first of all, make sure you got a good quality wallpaper. If you don't, this method might actually cause the paper to tear, but we're dealing with a high quality paper here. As you can see, I keep working the wrinkle diagonally from this point, and I'm sending it out. I'm pushing it out into the open space. Now my wrinkle's not 100% gone. Here's what I'm gonna do. You see? Take my thumb on my palm. Literally, I'm treating this like a piece of bread before you bake it. And I'm pulling all of that torque away from, it's stressed, that's what it is. Your paper is stressed here. Okay, fair to say that it's all gone here? Now, with that in mind, we're gonna wet it, and again, we're gonna put these wrinkles to bed once and for all. Okay. Now I'm pulling straight down. Look at that. Don't just run over your wrinkles and compound the damage by permanently creasing your wallpaper. Try to get them out by doing that method. It really all depends on the direction in which you pull on those wrinkles. If you push that wrinkle in the wrong direction, unfortunately, you compound the problem because you're not understanding what's going on. It's tension on the paper. If you simply filter out the tension by pulling the paper in the right direction, you'll get it. Trust me when I tell you. But if you're slightly off because you cut it improperly and you cause tension, I want to show you another trick. Take your knife and cut inside the wrinkle. Open it up and then overlap the flap. The top flap put over the bottom one. If you're looking, if the problem is below eye level, then overlap the top over the bottom. If you're come in the room and you're looking up at the problem, overlap the bottom over the top. And then what you're going to do is you're going to have probably a typical torque wrinkle will give you 1/8 to 3/16 of an overlap. You're going to then cut through that overlap and void the material. You're going to do a splice. So if the wrinkle were here, I would cut through it, and since I'm kneeling down right now, you enter through this door, you're going to look down at the issue. I'm going to overlap by putting the top over the bottom, and then I'm going to cut through the overlapped material. And then I'm going to wind up with 2 pieces of paper, the overlap and the underlap. Remove both very carefully and surgically, cutting. I don't slice, I just press my knife into the surface to cut off the 2 ends, and then join them, and you will have a perfect surgical seal. And then a pattern like this, you're never going to see it. You would try to do your surgery somewhere in this pattern. No one's going to be able to tell that this pattern, being 1/4 of an inch, lost a 1/16 of an inch. No one's going to be able to tell that. And so that's how you would do it. Okay, there's your quick tip on how to get rid of torque wrinkles. I hope it helps you. If it did, click on like and subscribe to my channel, please. Thank you. Extend the shaft of your blade. Hold the wallpaper out, and then bring your knife into the arch. You're using the arch as the guide against which to drag your knife. Let me show you up close. So this is what I just did. Okay, so now I'm going to continue, making sure that I can see my corner. You see that? That means my wallpaper is up against that corner where I need it. The excess, you see how I put my knife flat against the arch? Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to simply slide. I'm not doing it like this on an angle. No. It's up against the wall of the arch. Okay? That allows me to do this. See that? See how I can cut right through it? See how that knife is using the wall as a guide? Isn't that amazing? Okay? And look at the precision cut. Now, you may have to paint after that because you shaved a little of the paint off. No big deal. Your wallpaper is more important. No joke. Seriously, it's more important. You can always paint over it. All right, let's continue. It's flat. Okay. I'm almost at the top of my arch, so I'm waiting for the wall to stop me. But I continue on until the wall stops me. I'm stopped there. Now this is important. This is where you could easily start angling your blade. Ugh, becomes a mess to fix it. Oh, I got it nice and flat against the ceiling of that arch. No, no, no. People are watching. Don't do that to me. Ugh. Come on, man. We're on video. Alright, let me try to do it holding it. Okay, we got a little problem there, but that's alright. Okay. It's a good thing that a problem arose so that I can show you how to fix it if you should have a problem. Alrighty? Let's show you how to fix it. Splicing wallpaper. Sometimes it's really not worth it to waste a full sheet of wallpaper when you need 4.5 inches of it at the bottom of a wall. It's a judgment call. Ideally, you want full sheets. You don't want to splice. Ideally. But there comes a point of time when it really behooves you to make a splice cut. So you're not wasting very expensive wallpaper when you're literally down to maybe 1 or 2 sheets extra when you're doing a big job. So you have to make a judgment call as to whether or not you want to do this. But if you do, I'm going to show you how easy it is with most wallpapers. We're going to splice that piece in. Okay? And so that's what I'm going to show you how I do it. I'll take my sheet of wallpaper. See how the pattern matches up there? Just bring it in and match it. You want to overlap at least 2 inches. So that's this is going to get cut off. This is already on the wall. And here comes my splice. So I'm just going to match it up, right? Get that piece in there. So I went off camera to get this piece in place. It was driving me nuts. Okay, so you got the point, right? So we're going to trim this bottom here. Okay. Now with a new edge to your blade. Look close. You see that little ridge? We know that our old wallpaper is under there. Now where would you make your cut here? Let's say you're not perfectly over this thing. Right? You're not perfectly over it. You see how the old pattern is there? And then we overlap it? Let's say we're not perfectly over it. Right? You see how we're matching it up here? You're supposed to be right over it. If you're going to be cutting through it, it's going to be like double vision unless you're directly over the pattern. Do you know what I'm saying? So here's our repair splice piece. I'm pulling on it. You see this little loop here? Well, this one has to be directly over it because when I cut through it, if it's not directly over it now, it's going to be a double. Now, how can I avoid that altogether? Well, one of the ways is to cut through a part of the sheet that doesn't have a pattern. This whole white piece right here. However, I will tell you this. It's better to go through the pattern. For the reason being that it's harder to see a splice line when you're looking at a pattern, as opposed to having done it through this. But you make the decision. I'm going to go through the pattern. Okay? So I'm reaching in there. And watch this. Got to get a good run on it, because guess why? If you don't, you'll just drag the paper and you'll have a nightmare. A nightmare. Okay, let's see how we did. Okay, very nice so far. Okay, after removing the backing, we come back. We want to wet it. Even in there, you want to wet it. Let's get some water in there. Wetting it down. This is about 10 minutes later now. So we need to cut our last sheet. And if we follow the principle with keeping our blade nice and sharp, extending the shaft out of the holder, we'll do fine. Okay, steady she goes. Let's do it. I'm going to hold my paper nice and tight so that I get a nice sharp cut. Now I might come in on a curved radius, but I'm gonna go straight there. See that? Nice and straight. Two hands, not too slow. Nice and fast, okay? I'll bring you down with me here. Look how nice so far. Right? You agree? Okay, let's do the rest of it. Again, I hold it nice and tight. My blade is extended out. Careful now. Nice and fast. If you go too slow, it'll be jagged. Go figure. Let me bring you up front. Okay. Now I'm going to come into my radius. See the radius there? I don't care. As long as my blade is straight, I go right through it. Look at that. Let me end it in a radius. The reason I do that is to end the cut, you know, intermittently. Intermittent pieces of the cut, because I am not 8 feet tall. Okay, join me now as I finish her off. Take a look at that precision cut, right? Now, I don't want to get cocky, but let's see if we can do it like this while I'm holding the camera. Wow, look at that. Wow, Spencer, you're pretty good. Don't go too slow. Watch this. Boom. Quick, right? Now we go up there. Slice. Come on now. Oh yeah, very precise. Now we gotta do this side. What do you think? Want me to show you from a distance? I'll do that.
Yeah. Thanks. It was a real kind of bizarre way that we ended up moving here, but
So what do you think? It's done.
I think it's gorgeous. It looks beautiful. It really, truly does make these colors.
if you don't mind.